Welcome back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack. I am your commentator, and we are here for yet another social race in MOR esports. This is the 4 p.m. social race. This is the Chinese Grand Prix. We're all looking forward to this one. China, always a good track for racing, a bit demanding on the battery. And of course, it is our one-shot qualifying, followed by a 35% race. We're just waiting for the qualifying to begin. And then we will be underway. Says we're going to start in about 20-ish seconds. And that gives me just enough time to have a bit of water to get the throat ready before we get into our qualifying session. Alcada says he's been kicked out, so let's get Alcada back in quickly as qualifying begins then here in China. We've got some big names, of course. We've always got big names in MOR. The likes of Daryl, the likes of Ben Dim, and the likes of Mr. Smith are probably the biggest names here today. We will try and make our way up to them. Let's watch Daryl for this lap then. We know Daryl can be very, very quick when he's on his form. Has made a recent return to league racing and is trying his very best to get a podium finish once again. Daryl, I'm sure, will be back on the podium sooner rather than later. And I must say, I'm very excited to see it. And I hope that when it is, I am the man commentating it. We've got Scooters and Kian in the Twitch chat. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. As Daryl then makes his way onto the main straight. Looks like he's fighting away for P3 with CB. As Ben Dearman is in second. We've got Mr. Smith out in front at the moment. And you can see Daryl just used a bit too much battery, it would seem, in the first two sectors. Didn't get the greatest exit. Ben Dearman now with a really good exit out of the hairpin. Takes the top spot, but it's all going to switch around as Ben Dearman invalidates his lap. It is Mr. Smith on pole position. Daryl takes second from CB in third. But the big story there, Ben Dearman at the final corner, invalidating, obviously running wide. And that drops him all the way down the order. Well, there are your qualifying results then, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Smith takes pole by over half a second to Daryl in second place. This should be quite a fun Grand Prix coming up for you. The Chinese Grand Prix is up next. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here in China, and we can go racing for the Chinese Grand Prix. Daryl a little bit squirrely out of second place, and CB already looking to challenge him. Look at the Cadillac round the outside. That's Error on the outside line. It's Daryl with the inside, still trying to fight away with CB. Error now with the inside line at turn 3. Ander has had a bit of a moment, as has Alcada, who's down to 14th place at the moment. Daryl down into 4th, is looking to try and take 3rd away from Error, who's had a very good start in behind. A few people going wide, but nothing too major, as we will get all of our telemetry and whatnot enabled. And you can see Mr. Smith and Daryl starting on the medium compound tyres. Error on the softs, as well as CB. So is that maybe why they have got such good starts? And will Daryl come back into this race a little bit later on? We make our way towards the very, very long back straight, and this is where we would expect a lot of moves to be made. You can see CB all over the back of Mr. Smith, wants to try and make a move on the Haas car down into the hairpin, as Lewis James has also had a moment on the infield as well. CB not able to get past. Daryl not able to get past either. Look at YT Literally in behind as well. We've got Harvey looking to the outside line of TTV Kian. Prancing Horse trying to get involved as well, as Harvey goes a little bit wide. Here goes Prancing Horse into the final corner, wheel to wheel with the Aston Martin. Prancing Horse gets through into 10th place as Mr. Smith dives into turn 1 then. And Mr. Smith and CB already 1.6 seconds clear of Daryl and Error, as Daryl has got through on Error and up into 3rd place. But Error on the inside line, and there's a little bit of contact between them. Daryl manages to stay in 3rd. Error gonna look to fight this back with the battery and make the Daniel Ricciardo-esque dive bomb, but is not able to get the move done. Now look at Andy on the inside line, looking to try and snatch the position away from the caddy. Little bit of contact between them, as Executioner Same and Ben Dearman also have a bit of a coming together. Ben is going to launch this down the inside. Ben runs off the road. Ben still on the outside line. Executioner Same bashing his way through. Ben Dearman turning into the Ferrari to basically try and tell him to stop, really, as Ben's going to go off the road here. But Ben does get through on Executioner Same then. YT Literally also gets through on the Ferrari. Executioner Same now burning the battery to try and get back towards the rear end of the Ferrari. And YT Literally is going to be trying to attack Ben into the hairpin. Is the Cadillac driver able to get down the inside as Executioner Same slams into the side of the McLaren? I would not be surprised if that was damage for the Ferrari. Somehow it wasn't. But Executioner Same and Ben Dearman getting very, very close. Andy now overtakes Error. As into turn 1 we go. Ben Dearman looking round the outside of them all. Here comes Executioner Same, and there is more contact with Ben Dearman and with Executioner Same. And Ben Dearman this time is going to lose out massively. He falls behind Harvey. He falls behind Prancing Horse. Same now going for the move on Error. Error's forced off the road. And Executioner Same getting very, very aggressive out on track. I do want to give a massive shout out to Scooters as well, who is on a 90 stream watch streak. Massive shout out to you, Scooters. Easily one of our top fans. I say it in near enough every stream, but thank you, Scooters, genuinely, for all of the support that you give MOR and myself. We honestly appreciate it more than we can put into words. We really, really do. Ben Dearman then trying to make a comeback once more, trying to get up close to Prancing Horse, who's ran out of battery, so Ben will close that gap down. We've got Harvey, who's trying to gain. Executioner Same still sat behind the 2 Cadillac drivers at the moment. Little bit of contact. That's going to give him a poor exit. Prancing Horse now going to try and gain on him. Ben Dearman in this fight still. And will there still be another chapter in the tale to come as the two Cadillac drivers fight into turn one. Executioner Same and Ben Dearman. I do wonder if there's maybe a bit more to this storied tale. And I wonder if there is a bit more to come as Ben Dearman throws it down the inside on Prancing Horse and makes his way up into 9th place. Prancing Horse burning the battery, trying to get this position back as that is Executioner Same giving the position back to Ben Dearman. And I wonder if the Ferrari did that on purpose. He realized what he did was wrong. No way of telling as Prancing Horse is having a few lag issues out in front. It is still Mr. Smith that is leading this race. Haven't really spoken much about him so far in this Grand Prix. His Executioner Same gets all out of place. And it's going to fall even further behind as that's Prancing Horse off the road and into the gravel. And the Red Bull driver now down to 11th. JF1 also gaining on the Red Bull driver who's been off the road. JF1 runs out of road though. Alcada comes into the pit lane and retires from the session. Here comes Error trying to overtake Ben Dearman. Is Error going to charge down the inside? He locks up. Is he going to be able to get the move done? It looks like he just about is. As we go into the final corner and there's contact and Ben Dearman again gets spun round. This is not the first time it has happened to Ben Dearman as there in the wall is one of the Ferraris and his Executioner Same who is into the barriers. And the Ferrari driver is trying to get that car righted, but there's probably rear wing damage on that Scuderia Ferrari. There is front wing damage too. And as he tries to get the car righted, he is struggling though. Ben Dearman now trying to get through on TTV Kian. On the inside line, makes that move through into 7th place. TTV Kian now gets the position back as Ben runs very wide indeed. And Ben Dearman struggling in this race. Closest battle on track is the one that we are on board with. Ben Dearman versus TTV Kian. And the McLaren driver having an ugly first few phases to this Grand Prix. CB is the first man into the pit lane then. And Ben Dearman does dive into the pit lane with him. Error now running in 10th place. Must have had a moment of his own. Here's Executioner Same, who will be into the pit lane too. At least for a new front wing. Executioner Same. It does look like he's going to continue on in this race. It's quite difficult to judge if a car has rear wing damage because the rear wing doesn't get any sort of damage graphic on it, if that makes sense. The new wing goes on to the Ferrari. Out in front, it's still Mr. Smith that is leading by 6.1 seconds to Darrell in 2nd place. Harvey and Andy is fighting away. And it does look like the medium compound tyres are now better. CB, Ben, Prancing Horse and Executioner Same all onto the hard compound tyres. As we make our way down the main straight with Andy's and Harvey. Doesn't look like we've got anyone in the pit lane this lap. as Error is passed by CB, who moves up into 7th place. The McLaren driver chasing a podium. JF1 picks up the first time penalty of this session. That being a 3-second time penalty. Darrell, 7 seconds shy of Mr. Smith, is chasing his first league racing podium in a good few months, I can tell you that much. Darrell taking a lengthy break. Coming back, and you can see the gold on his helmet, and you can see what his aspirations are. Darrell looking to get back to the right way of league racing, where he belongs, and trying to get a podium finish. There's still a long way to go in this race, 13 laps, anything can happen. But Darrell, I'm sure, is very, very focused and very prepared for the race ahead. YT Litterly fighting away with Andes. Andes comes into the pit lane for his first and only pit stop of this Grand Prix. Williams driver coming down the pit lane will come out behind Ben Dearman as Error gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Ben Dearman sets the fastest lap of the race. And the McLaren driver trying to recover something from this Grand Prix. This is Executioner Same, who most certainly does have rear wing damage in this race. YT Litterly trying to chase down MUFC Harvey, but softs versus mediums. The softs are never going to win that fight. When the softs are so degraded, you can see, especially the left front on the Cadillac, the tyre looking absolutely horrible. It's Mr. Smith that is your leader. Darrell in 2nd place. MUFC Harvey in 3rd with Litterly in 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this man into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Darrell comes into the pit lane. Darrell, normally the master of the long strategy, and is coming in quite early. Darrell emerges in P6. He's a while away behind CB. And then everyone else in this race has to box yet. We imagine he will come out behind Mr. Smith. But Darrell should be running in 3rd place. Has got 4.3 seconds to try and gain on CB if he wants to finish in 2nd place. I'm sure Darrell will be absolutely over the moon with a podium though. Mr. Smith does come into the pit lane then. For his one and only pit stop of this race. It will be hard compound tyres that go on to the Haas car. And he does emerge in the lead. Mr. Smith looking for a grand slam here. CB ahead of TTV Kian. Daryl in 4th place then. Ben Dearman up to 5th as Litterly and Harvey come into the pit lane. Daryl got about 4 seconds to gain to TTV Kian, who has not boxed in this race so far. And that gap will come down relatively quickly, you would imagine. CB 4 seconds behind Mr. Smith. Can CB try and gain some time? Prancing Horse now picks up a 3-second penalty. I think Ben Dearman will be pretty happy with P5 if that's where he is to finish after all the chaos that has happened in this race. But he is gaining on Daryl. You can see the Red Bull just ahead of him. 3.1 seconds is the gap and decreasing. So Ben Dearman also could be on for a podium. Could snatch Daryl's chances away. CB saying this 50%. This is not a 50% race. This is only 20 laps. 50% would be, I want to say it's like 32 laps, maybe, for a 50%. I'm not sure how long the actual Chinese Grand Prix race is, to be completely honest. Ben Dearman with another fastest lap of the race. CB says, I'm not making it. What do you mean you're not making it, CB? What is happening to the McLaren car? On board with the McLaren. He's still gaining time on Kian. Wonder if CB maybe means the fuel. As Daryl tries to get through on Kian and does so. Daryl now into 3rd place. But you can see how Ben Dearman is gaining on Daryl. And I wonder if he is gaining on CB too. Daryl running in 3rd. Kian in 4th with Ben in 5th place. Kian not scheduled for a pit stop on this lap. But look at the closing rate of Ben Dearman. Towards the hairpin we go. So close to being forced onto the grass. They do lock up a little bit. Ben Dearman does get through. CB says fuel. He doesn't think he's making it to the end of the race with the fuel that he's on. Kian dives into the pit lane. CB 7.5 seconds off of the leader. Daryl is gaining on CB because CB's having to try and conserve fuel. Ben Dearman only a 1.5 seconds behind Daryl. Drama in this Grand Prix. CB does not think he will make it to the end because of fuel. We're on board with Daryl. Closest battle on track is Harvey versus Litterly. Litterly in P6 on the medium compound tyres. Harvey in 7th on the hard compound tyres. Harvey doing a good job of keeping up with the Cadillac. As we've got a yellow flag, and that is around Error, who is most certainly not stationary. CB saying he fueled for 50%, and it's not a 50% race. Ben Dearman is now in the overtake boost of Daryl. Daryl 1.7 seconds behind CB. We're on lap 13 of 20 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Kian gets through on Prancing Horse. Executioner Same and JF1 doing battle. Somehow, Executioner Same is in a battle while he's got rear wing damage, as my dog is now going mental as she thinks someone is at the door. Hopefully, she doesn't go too crazy. I don't believe there is anyone at my door, at least not to my knowledge anyway, so would be a little bit weird. As the co-commentator Ava gets herself back involved with another stream. CB in second place with Daryl running in third then. Daryl is now in the overtake boost of CB. Ben Dearman in the overtake boost of Daryl. It's the two McLarens versus the Red Bull. And will we see CB try and pull out some tactics? Executioner Same has had a bit of a moment. Currently down in 12th place. But will CB try and hold Daryl up to help Ben Dearman? Ben might not need it because towards turn 1 we go. Ben Dearman on the inside line barges his way through on Daryl. Daryl looking for the switchback. This would be a lovely move from the Red Bull if he could get it done. Ben, a little bit more contact made between the McLaren and the Red Bull. Ben does get through into third. Daryl draining the battery, looking round the outside. Ben on the inside would have the better line for that particular corner. Ben saving his battery. Wants the battery down the main straight. Round the outside goes Ben once more. CB with much more battery. This battle absolutely brilliant between Daryl and Ben. Daryl does stay in third place for at least the time being. Lewis saying, what happened to the 6 p.m. race? What do you mean, what happened to the 6 p.m. race, Lewis? CB just a few tenths ahead of us now. Ben Dearman right in behind Daryl. Ben with a lot more battery as well. But Daryl does not look under threat as we make our way towards the hairpin and down the back straight. Mr. Smith gaining away all the while. Sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Lewis says it doesn't come up in the Discord. There's no 6 p.m. social races anymore. Because we run our championship events at 6 and 8 p.m. So there's no more social races. The social races are only at 12 to 4 p.m. And then on the weekends, we also do a 10 p.m. social race. There's no longer 6 p.m. social races, as 6 p.m.s are always championship events. Daryl is gaining then on CB. And he needs to try and make this move as soon as possible. Looking down the inside is Daryl. Not your conventional overtaking place, but he's done it. A beautiful move from Daryl to get up into second place, chasing his first podium in months, as I've said. And Daryl now in second, the comeback well and truly on. Ben Dearman still trying to fight away as well, has got a full battery to use. But Daryl and CB, neither of them are struggling. CB right in behind Daryl in the slipstream. Is going to look for the inside line towards the hairpin. Onto the grass goes CB, trying to make the move and making the move. Daryl not able to fight that. And CB back up into second. Daryl down to third. All the while, we've got Ben Dearman in the background as well. This is some very, very close racing between CB, Daryl, and Ben Dearman, as CB ducks out the way for the pair of them and lets Daryl and Ben continue on their fight. Harvey and Littley still fighting away too. As we've got yellow flags flying, and that is for JF1, who has had some sort of moment and has picked up a bit of front wing damage as well. Has it? No front wing damage for Jay. Just a bit of a spin in the middle part of the lap. Ben Dearman still chasing down Darrell. This is the battle for second and third. MUFC Harvey now picks up a 3-second time penalty. As down the back straight we go once more. Doesn't look like any positions are going to be changing on this occasion. It's Mr. Smith that is your leader by 14 seconds. The two McLarens still in the fight as well, but CB, we know from info, is running out of fuel very, very quickly. Does not think he's going to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. Mr. Smith, I'm sure, will be very happy with the way this race has gone. It has been a very chill Grand Prix for him. Ben Dearman trying to get a little bit closer to the back of Darrell. A little bit of a moment though, and that is going to cost him some time to the Red Bull driver. Might lose out on the overtake boost here, although Ben does look very quick in a straight line. Look at CB on the rear end of his teammate as well. Darrell electing not to use as much battery as he could have. And that is going to allow Ben Dearman to stay in the overtake boost. We're on lap 18 of 20 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Mr. Smith is your leader. This man looking to get the Grand Slam here today. And what a performance it has been by Mr. Smith. Easily controlling the pace out in front. Darrell running in second with Ben Dearman in third place. CB is fourth with Litterly battling away with Harvey. This is the battle for sixth. Harvey, of course, has that penalty. We'll bring up the penalty screen for you. It's only 3-second penalties wherever you see a penalty, but Litterly will be taking the position due to the penalty applied to the Aston Martin. MUFC Harvey is trying to gain on Andiers as well. As look at Litterly. That is a lap car that's in the way. Is getting the overtake boost as well because of it. As we move on to the penultimate lap of this race then, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Dearman still trying to chase Darrell for second place. And Ben, I'm sure, will be very happy with this comeback. Has not had an easy race at all. The McLaren driver involved in many, many incidents especially with Executioner Same, who currently runs in 11th place. And that got very scrappy between them, as we've got yellow flags down the back straight, and that is for Prancing Horse, who is slowing down to let the leaders go, it would seem. Not sure why Prancing Horse is slowing down, is now speeding up again. And that is quite annoying, because now we're going to have a lapped ghost car in this final battle fight, as Ben sets after Daryl one final time. Ben Dearman running in third. Daryl running in second. Mr. Smith, your leader, is absolutely flying in this race. And it is already in the middle sector. Ben Dearman giving it everything and was looking for the dive bomb. It's going to lock up and go very, very deep. We do also need to watch CB, who said he thinks he's going to run out of fuel at some point. But for Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith's off! Mr. Smith is off the road! What am I seeing? Mr. Smith off the track. Daryl, if you can hear me, get your foot down! He's back on the track, is Mr. Smith. What happened to the Haas driver? Whatever has happened, it doesn't look like it's going to be too costly for him, as Mr. Smith makes his way into the hairpin for one final time. And the Haas driver is going to grand slam here in China. He's only made one mistake and it didn't cost him anything. Mr. Smith rounds the final corner to win the Chinese Grand Prix. Daryl does finish in second place. Welcome back to the podium, Daryl. Back where he belongs. CB eventually didn't run out of fuel, it doesn't seem like. Although maybe him and Ben did together. And that's why they finished so close. Only 63 thousandths off of a podium position. Harvey will come home for 5th on track, but it will be YT Litterly that finishes in 5th. Harvey finishes 6th. It will be Andes in 7th with TTV Kian in 8th. JF1 will finish 9th with Prancing Horse in 10th. Error in 11th. Executioner Same 12th. And Lewis James in 13th place. CB says he just got home with the fuel that he had. That was a really fun race. A lot of people didn't like when I said that the track would be China. But I thought that was pretty good, I must say. Mr. Smith with a Grand Slam victory in China. Daryl back on the podium. Things you absolutely love to see. Ben Dearman in 3rd. A great comeback from him after his scrapping with Executioner Same and Error. CB finishes 4th. Manages to save the battery. Daryl saying, finally, mate, it's been a while. Definitely worth the wait, Daryl. Welcome back. We've missed you. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into me and this Chinese Grand Prix. A brilliant event, honestly. What a race it was. Stories up and down the grid. And ultimately, that caps off our day of social races. We'll be back in about an hour and 15 minutes for the Thursday 6 p.m. division. So make sure you do follow us and head on over to that stream when it is live. My name's been Jack. I've been your commentator. A pleasure to bring you the action as always. I hope to see you there. Until I see you, take care, and as always, ta-da.